Thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. And hopefully today with our bets and your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. NFL Week 7 continues. Excuse me. We're a little bit under the weather, to say the least. NFL Week 7, 2 Monday night games. Want to give you that action. Sorry we're a little bit late giving this out. But the 2 Monday night games, going to be pretty interesting games. I love this Ravens-Bucks matchup. You've got really good run defense for both teams in the Ravens and the Bucks. Pass defense of both teams, not so good. You've got two teams that can throw the ball, two teams that have been scoring. The big difference so far between the Rams and the Bucks has been this. Ravens lost. They had a brain fart game and lost a tough game to the Chiefs. The Bucks have gotten in trouble when they couldn't protect Baker much, or they were turning the ball over. Now, they got a fortunate win and a big win against the Saints last time out when they did turn the ball over 3 times. It's the only reason the Saints were in the ball game, just because of the interceptions. Now, they weren't all on Baker, a couple tip balls, but both teams need to be tight with the ball here in order to get this game won. Total, or spread right now, Baltimore on the road, 3.5-point favorite, 49.5 total. Our rule of thumb here is still going to apply. Home dog Monday night, we love. Now, in the second game, Chargers-Cardinals, we don't like the line here. There's a lot of things going on in that game, so we're staying away from the line, but we'll get going on this first game here with Ravens-Bucks. So you got Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry's been fantastic. Mike Evans. Godwin's been awesome. Bucky Irving showed up for the Bucks when Rashad White's been down. Cade Otton's back. We got stars all over the place. So honestly, in this game, it's pretty simple for us. We think the Ravens will get shut down. Shut down as much as you can shut down the run game. I still expect Lamar to probably throw a run for 50-plus yards. Derrick Henry to probably get 50-plus because they're going to continue to feed him the ball. But overall, we expect Lamar to have to wing this thing all over the yard. And if that's the case, we like them a little bit better. When the Ravens are dynamic and can run or pass, they're impossible to stop. I mean, even the Chiefs had a really hard time stopping them week 1 game where everybody's still a little rusty coming out of the preseason. So, and the Chiefs defense, as you continue to see all season long, is probably one of the best defenses out there. And they had a hard time slowing down both sides. I think the Bucks slow down the run game here enough to make Lamar have to throw it 30-plus times tonight. That's the key. Baker, on the other hand, he seems comfortable when he's throwing, running with his hair on fire, as normally Baker does here. So let's give you the bets here, Ravens and Bucks. We do love the Bucks tonight, plus a half first quarter, plus 2.5 first half, plus 3.5 for the game. Derrick Henry, under 84.5 rush yards. Vita Vea is playing. I know he's questionable. Sounds like he's going to play. Vita Vea is a huge difference on a run game. He is a monster. He takes up multiple blocks, which allows these other guys to get the tackles. We like Derrick Henry going under yards. Lamar, though, over 227 pass yards. Baker, over 253. In fact, we sprinkled a little bit on Baker for 300-plus tonight. They're going to have a hard time running the ball. Baltimore's pass defense has been, I don't want to say god-awful, but it hasn't been up to the Ravens standard of pass defense. Godwin over 73.5 receiving yards and over 6.5 receptions. We like Zay Flowers over 5.5 receptions and over 59.5 receiving yards. Lamar over 36.5 yards longest completion, as I think him and Baker will both have a deep ball tonight. Over 35.5 for longest completion again. So a lot of bets in this one. Let's run through them again. Bucks plus a half in the first quarter, plus 2.5 first half, plus 3.5 for the game. Derrick Henry, like we mentioned, under 84.5 rush yards. Lamar over 227 pass yards. Baker over 253 passing yards. Baker for 300 passing yards as well. Lamar over 28.5 pass attempts. Baker over 35.5 pass attempts. Godwin over 73.5 receiving yards. The reason we don't have Mike Evans stuff, still a lot of questionability there. Zay Flowers over 59.5 receiving yards. Then we also like Flowers and Godwin over receptions. Flowers over 5.5, Godwin over 6.5. Lamar over 36.5 yards longest completion, and Baker over 35.5 yards longest completion. All right, now we get to the most. I don't know how to really rate this game here. So I think if you guys have watched us at all so far, this season we don't like the Cardinals at all. I think they're a joke. They doubled down on Kyler Murray instead of ditching that contract when they had the chance, when he was hurt, and, new regime coming in. We could have went out and got somebody else. Hell, you had the number 4 pick. You could have done something. But no, we doubled down with Murray. And then instead of trading back in the draft, grabbing multiple defensive pieces, which we need, we went and grabbed a receiver, which you can get receivers everywhere. I mean, Patrick Mahomes can make a new receiver all of a sudden fantastic in, it seems like, 3 weeks. You telling me you're going to spend a number 4 pick on a receiver? I am not big on spending big-time dollars and big-time draft picks on receivers. I think you can get a ton of them 2nd through the 6th round and 7th round and not have to pay these big. If they prove it, great. If they don't, no problem. Number 1 picks for me are reserved for offensive linemen, defensive linemen, pass rushers, and quarterbacks. That's where I would spend a majority of it. Those dudes are the dudes that make things happen. So when it comes to this game here, Chargers, so they're down a couple corners. I understand that. I've heard all that, right? But their offense and offensive line, they might control the ball 70% of this game tonight, and we expect them to on the road here in Phoenix area. Joe All, Slater, both back. We expect Dobbins to have a monster in this particular game as well. They like to run the ball already, and going against one of the worst rush defenses in the league, they've got to take full advantage of this one here. No question about that. This game's actually pretty close. 1.5 point line, total at 44.5 in this one. Marvin Harrison is back. I understand a lot of people still excited about Marvin Harrison, but can I ask why? He's averaging 3 catches for 45 yards. Now, I understand a game through 6 games, he's had 4 touchdowns. He's had two touchdown games, and he's been non-existent in the rest of the games. Chargers play a bunch of zone here, so it wasn't like it was going to be man-to-man on him anyway. And, we hear from the Cardinals coaches and players, they're rolling coverage to Marvin Harrison. They roll coverage to all the best receivers in the Justin Jefferson gets rolled coverage too. He's still got 7 for 81 in the touch, right? The problem is the quarterback, and then the offensive line for the Cardinals with all the injuries they have there as well, being able to keep Kyler up. I don't know what's going on with Harrison, if he's just not looking for him. Michael Wilson and Trey McBride are definitely Kyler's 2 first targets, almost on every read. So I don't know how you can be behind Marvin Harrison here. I'm not a Harrison. I think Harrison would flourish probably in another offense. Unfortunately, you've got one of the biggest bonehead offensive coordinators in Drew Petzing, in my opinion, running this offense. And then you've got a quarterback who's probably back half of the league. You know what I mean? So, Malik Neighbors, the Giants don't have anybody, and they can find Malik Neighbors 4+ times a game. You're telling me you can only get Harrison 3 catches and maybe 4 or 5 targets a game? That's ridiculous. It's all about offensive coordinator setting up plays to make sure he gets the ball. That's supposed to be your superstar. And then you got James Conner, who's been a little wobbly as of late. Offensive line hasn't been fantastic. They haven't, they say they want to run the ball. They haven't been doing that well, except for the San Francisco game, and that was Kyler Murray early in that game, and then it was Conner late, and the Chiefs just ran the ball down their throat second half of this week's game. So you can kind of see maybe the 49ers defense not up to task. They're 2-4 for a reason. They haven't won back-to-back games ever in Jonathan Gagnon's tenure here in year 2. They lost last week. Not only did they lose against the Packers, it wasn't like they even showed up. They got behind, and it was just like we put the I don't care brakes on and just make business decisions and not get hurt on the way out of here. That all being said, I do expect this to be a close game, right? But we do love some J.K. Dobbins today and a couple other plays here. So let's give those for you. J.K. Dobbins over 76.5 rush yards. We're also going to sprinkle a little bit on 125 plus rush yards. J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown. Marvin Harrison under 50.5 receiving yards. Kyler Murray over 31.5 pass attempts, as I think they'll have a hard time running the ball. And Dobbins over 17.5 yards longest rush. One more time, it's a lot of Dobbins and a couple other bets. No sides or totals. So let's give you those. Dobbins over 17.5 yards longest rush. Dobbins anytime touchdown. Dobbins over 76.5 rush yards. Dobbins 125 plus rush yards against the worst run defense in the league. Harrison Jr. for the Cardinals under 50.5 receiving yards, and Murray over 31.5 pass attempts. As like I said, I think they'll struggle running the ball. and have to throw it quite a bit. All right, so we got a ton of bets tonight. How do you get a chance to take a look at all those? No problem. We've got them available on multiple sites for you. TikTok and YouTube channel pages as well at the end of every episode on YouTube. It's a link to our Google Sheets. It's docs.google.com/spreadsheet, bunch of other stuff behind it. Click on that link. Once you get in there, go to NFL, scroll down to, go to football 24-25 tab first, then scroll down to NFL week 7. You'll be able to see all the bets, what juice we got those at, how many units we wagered, also the book that we placed it at, and then obviously once the game's over, result. Right? So you can check out all of those when you get some time. Also, we have promo bonus bets to give away all over the place. You can find those multiple spots online. TikTok and YouTube channel pages as well. It is bit.ly/sportsbetsforfree-bh. Click there. It automatically default to the state you're in. We've got online casinos, sports books, fantasy sites, all kinds of stuff. Might as well take advantage of their money rather than your money by signing up. You also help support the show by doing that as well. So if you don't want to get in our private Discord channel, which we're going to talk about next, you can still help support the show and the content you like by getting on there and signing up for a sportsbook, casino, or something to that effect. See if you can make a little bit extra coin on that one. The private Discord channel is available. You register through TikTok by subscribing through TikTok. You got a choice on dollar plans there. There is a difference. 25 is going to get you all access to me as well for lots of different questions. The $6 and $10 one, a little bit less access there. You're still going to get early to the picks. And for example, you had these Monday night picks, I believe, on Thursday or Friday at the latest for football. College football, you get stuff way early as that stuff's available because we're not waiting on as many player props in that one. NBA's right around the corner. We'll have that episode out later tonight as well for the first 2 NBA games. So if you want to make some money, save some money on some juice, make some money by playing smart plays, we're an action channel. We've got tons of action for you. We'll help you through it. All right. Also, if you like the content that you're seeing here, just make sure you hit follow or subscribe depending on the social media platform you're on, and turn on the notifications. That way you get a notification when we drop a new episode of Bets. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.